Yep.
There it goes. Yeah,
We're on.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Dockman can't survive. The water's edge can't survive. The industry will survive.
We rejoin our heroes in the middle of completing a permanent dock, seawall, and Rockwall job, all while in the midst of a pandemic.
All right, Jerry and Garrick here. We're headed out to Metamora to check on the job, but we're getting ready to button it up. It has been particularly more difficult than most of these jobs we do, just based on timing when everything hit. Permitting started during COVID. March of 2020, and we're at March of 2021. I remember you started the permitting process when everything was like pretty much 90% shut down from the virus.
Yeah, everything just kind of went, I don't want to say to a halt, but about as close as you can get to it. It took, I would say, about a dozen drawings and quite a few, several hundred emails back and forth with the EGLE to be able to get this pushed through. He's got about a 25-foot grade difference from where his house sets down to where the dock is, and it wasn't safe to navigate down from the house to the dock. We had to do some mitigation with some riprap and tow stone underneath the whole deck so that the wildlife is still just as happy now as after the job's done as before we did the job. So worked out good.
It's going to be cool to check it out. We've been back and forth quite a bit, but in the last couple weeks there's been a lot of those finishing touches where it all kind of comes together and you can see the whole picture. Hopefully, like the SketchUp drawing that we started with is what we'll end up with here at the end.
So he's got to get another motor on his boat.
Yeah, yeah. The boat in the drawing, the boat has 2 motors. After the permitting, things definitely didn't get any easier. So everything got drug out because of this virus situation. So by the time we're breaking ground, I believe it was December. We did get a little stroke of luck that winter kind of came in a little later than it usually does. But when a lot of the real heavy work started, we started getting very hard freeze and a lot of snow.
I'm gonna need more money for this bolt. Middle of January, we're dealing with mud.
Well, we're at a standstill right now. The poles won't go down. Got some rocks in there. Probably pick it up and then move it further out.
We're hitting a rock or a chunk of concrete.
so satisfying watching those pilings sink into the ground. I don't know what it is. Yeah, those suckers are never gonna move 9 feet into the ground or whatever you said. Or they go right down to the neck of it, so we're talking...
So they're 11.5 foot probably?
11.5 foot into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky we didn't strike oil.
Customer would be a very, very wealthy person.
Right. That's in the fine print of our contract, though. If we strike oil, we have 90% of it goes to us.
Big dogs now, operating the machine. No big deal.
So at this point in the program, you've probably noticed that we have a woman on our team. She's probably one of our most versatile employees. She's capable of running anything from heavy equipment to backing up a trailer and welding of all sorts, like you're watching now.
Only when she decides to show up for work, though.
All kidding aside, she actually gets down to business. It's like a symphony, thus the music. Such a beautiful contrast between the cold steel and the blonde, puffy ponytail. She can finesse aluminum with a TIG welder, run a MIG welder. She gets it done. Cutting, welding, brazing.
Sounds like you're reciting a poem.
James Joyce, I think it is. Quite an inspiration for everybody, and she's taught quite a few people at this company too how to take care of business when it comes to the art of sticking metal together. Really cool to watch. Paige did indeed manage to get the welds finished before full-on winter set in. I think about the time that we were getting to some of our most critical points of this job, we're definitely below zero with the wind chill. And what did we get dumped on? 1.5 foot of snow.
Yeah.
So we struggled with that for a while. Machines breaking down. Cold weather is hard on the guys, but everybody kept pushing through. I think we did have a week or so shutdown.
A week and a half.
Week and a half shutdown.
Those 14 below zero days.
Yeah. Just got too bitter cold. Our employees, they're our lifeblood. It gets hard on them too. And there's no doubt about it. Getting beat up by the wind in negative temperatures like that, the human body can only take so much. So we did what was best, I think, for the company, for the employees, and we shut down for that week and a half, and then we got back at it.
Got off a 2-week vacation because of weather, so that definitely makes it hard when you don't work on the job site for 2 weeks.
What a noob.
What are you working on?
Oh, just trying to change his blade. Struggling. Got this old rusty set of Allens. There she goes. Huh. Oh my god, of course. What other kind of tools I got up here? But I'm just saying, like, so you see how it's a little bit longer, you know?
How confident are you right now?
How confident? 150%.
Oh yeah? So if you mess up, I have rights to make fun of you?
I can just tell Gary that you cut it.
that I cut it, but that's not true.
There she is.
Better hope so.
I'm questioning myself. No. Color, stop.
The weather's nice. It's nice that it's warm out, but it would be better if it was just a little colder and everything was frozen. It's honestly terrible.
Yeah.
It is not fun. Today we came out here to put on the rest of the fascia boards and finish decking and putting the border around all the dock and the deck here. As of right now, it's going very smoothly, and we are on track to finish all of the side work and top work for today. Then we'll be in a great spot for tomorrow, and hopefully we'll start doing that rock wall tomorrow.
So now we still have frost in the ground. So we have a nice hard frozen hill. And like Eric said, the grade change is probably 25 foot from where the home sets down to the water. And now we have it all frozen, nice slick frozen frost with 1.5 feet of snow that just melted. That's made this nice greasy slick goo to drive on. And now we went from everything too cold to work to, yes, it's warm, it's awesome, spirits are up, but now the equipment is having a hard time moving around. So then we got to fight the mud, and
Gary hates mud more than anything in the world.
Yes, for anybody that runs equipment, you know, when it's muddy and nasty, it makes everything just a mess. You're wallowing in mud all day, the equipment's getting destroyed, and then, lucky for us, we're in Michigan where the weather changes abruptly, and even when we get a nice run of weather, at night, it's going to still cool down to freezing temperatures, and if you leave that mud in the tracks, you now are going to have a piece of equipment that is not going to want to move in the morning because you've just made a solid block of mud ice. What would you call it? Yeah,
Frozen mud.
Frozen mud.
So we're just starting to put in the rock wall here, and then we're going to start doing the steps. We're trying to do it as fast as possible because once all this dirt up here thaws out, it gets really smushy and water, it just makes a huge mess. So when that happens, we can't really do any more of the rock work. It gets all messy, and then that's pretty much it for the rock wall today.
I think we're gonna get a river coming down this hillside pretty soon that I'm not gonna be able to stop.
Hey, Gary actually smiles.
With his backwards bucket.
Patented Gary move. Fast forward though to the last couple of weeks though, and we've definitely hit our stride. This is all part of any job. It's maybe not always necessarily these problems that we deal with, but when we take a job on and when we price it and we sit down with a customer and explain to them what the finished product is going to be, all of this stuff is in mind. Again, it might not be freezing, thawing, a worldwide epidemic that slows it down, but pandemic. But there's always issues, and we're aware that these hurdles exist, and our job is to not turn away from them and go, oh, this is not good, we're just not going to be able to finish this job, or we're going to have to put it off for months because, you know, it's just not going like we thought it would. Our job is to solve the problems. Our goal at the end of any project, knowing that these hurdles are going to be there, is to still give you what we promised you to begin with, or even surpass what we promised you in a reasonable amount of time. And this one definitely tested our skills, but I think we nailed it. That is sharp. That's this spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's with everything complete. 12-inch limestone for the wall. What colors did he pick for what was that decking?
It was Trex Transcends, Gravel Path, and Lava Rock.
They contrast nice.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you, I did have my doubts about the color, but that's not my job is to choose the color. So I think they hit it really well.
This was a fun one, man. We got to showcase everything. We got boats in there with the bumpers all safe and secure, tied off. I mean, you talk about water's edge docks, hoist, seawalls. I think the only thing we don't have is a boat hoist on this one.
We're in discussion with him though. We'll get him a boat hoist in there.
He needs one. That's going to finish that off. 2 of them actually. Still one motor, or is there 2 on it? Did we get it?
Nope, he still only got 1, as you can see.
Hope he can make it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in and watching.
Yep. We hope to see you guys on the next one.
Tune in next time to see where the Dockmen are headed next.